Welcome to More Than Design podcast, episode 1, first episode. What an honor to have my brothers here from Gun Hill Public Housing Skate Team. We got my boy Vlad here.
Nope.
We got my boy Ron here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you
sir.
know, Public Housing Skate Team, a streetwear brand from the Bronx, worn by many artists such as ASAP Rocky, the late Virgil, ASAP Berg, Playboy Cardi, many more. Public Housing Skate Team has had recently a sneaker collab with Puma, which I got on here. You feel me?
Nice.
Collabs with Lowe's NYC, Richardson, which I got on too. Just repping. Sold in Supreme in New York, and notably in a few retailers in Japan, and all over, bro. But
shout
really,
out to Pro Tokyo.
Yep. So, welcome, fellas.
Facts. Yeah, yes, sir. Thanks for having us. You feel me?
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
This is really part 2, man. We did this before, but it didn't come out that well. So,
and I missed out now. But I'm here now. I'm here.
Facts. It feels right just having the whole squad here.
Sure.
What y'all been up to, man?
Man, just a bunch of stuff. You know, working on art pieces, films. New drops, new designs. Just keeping busy, honestly.
Yeah. Bait.
Basically, same shit.
Same shit.
Working on art, being creative, staying creative.
Yeah. I met Bake and Vlad. We were all used to play ball back in our younger days in Gun Hill. Ronald was the first person I met when I moved to Gun Hill. I used to live in Allerton. Kind of like a Hey Arnold type of like environment. All the kids come out, chill on the stoop and shit. And my family was like, yo, you moving to Gun Hill Projects? And all my friends, I was never like growing up in the projects. I was scared as fuck. And when I first moved out there, I ain't come out for like a year or two. And one day randomly I was just walking past the park, and I never played ball. Like I barely played ball. And I seen Ronald just out there with this kid that we knew named Mustard. Right? What's his name? Mustard or Ketchup?
I think it was
like mustard or ketchup.
I think it was ketchup.
It was crazy. It was ketchup. It was like
he used to put mad ketchup on his fries.
Yeah, facts.
Overdo it.
Yeah, I don't know why they called him ketchup, but that was his name.
That should be my nickname. I put a bunch of ketchup in my shit too.
Yeah, facts. And then that's how I met Ronald. We played ball and started to do that. And then Vlad was hooping too. And then we all kind of just did our own thing, man. How y'all met? Like, was it still like just playing ball?
Yeah, playing ball in Gun Hill, shooting around.
Yeah.
It's crazy because we all went to like different schools, but we all played ball in the same court.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting, but
Gun Hill Magenta was different. It was a different time when we was growing up, just playing ball.
41 was like the practice court.
Yeah.
And then we would go over to like Gun Hill.
Then Gun Hill, you had the B court, the A court.
Yeah.
And it was really like, now you can like kind of play with like, the youngsters is now playing with like the old heads, but before you really had to be good to like play on those courts.
Yeah, they go on the other court. Yeah. The one thing I didn't like about Gun Hill is that every time they upgraded it, someone would like take the net off, and I'm like, damn, man, like why you guys gotta take the net? I want to hit my shot. Go in. But that's the only thing I didn't like as far as Gun Hill. It's interesting. Like it's a different time for like from the internet. Like you really have to be like outside.
Yeah.
Per se. So.
Have y'all been around Gun Hill like recently, right? There's no one that plays basketball nowadays.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a different time. Nobody's out there. People mostly the kids from like Evander will go like cut school and just shoot around. I think like serious like
there's
that.
There's no like prospects. Like, like when I say prospects, like a young kid, like a young killer growing up.
Yeah, like the truth.
But ain't no prospect.
It's not like that anymore. Nah, that energy is over.
Yeah. I don't want to blow up his spot, but Ron was like the truth growing up playing ball. He was like the Sebastian Telfair of the hood. It's crazy.
That's crazy, but I thought Ron. I mean, everyone thought Ron was gonna go to the A.
Facts.
So definitely in different dimension. We just chose a different path, which is even better now. But it's good to have him as a partner. But definitely in different dimension, he's definitely on some like NBA shit. Yeah, it was fun. it was fun. It was like the only thing we knew. You feel me?
Yeah, facts. Playing ball.
I didn't think about mine too. It's just like cook it up. It's just one of those things we used to go outside and just play ball. It's the only thing we knew. Yeah. Like if we knew computer coding, we probably been building robots right now, right? So like, I don't know. It's just what we knew. It's just what they
That's the box they put us in.
That's what they put around us.
Yeah, that's the box where we sell drugs, rap, or play ball. That's the triangle, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's why it's so dope to see like all of our transformation from like playing ball, which it's hard. I noticed from like a lot of people that do play ball to like kind of get in that creative space or just like what's next, like after playing ball. So like just to kind of give a backstory, like what were you guys doing? Like what made you guys stop playing ball? Like before you guys kind of got into like public housing?
I mean, for me, I think my brothers like were artists in general. Like my family, like we're just like a bunch of artists in the house, and my sister would do art, and my brothers do art. Yeah. So just seeing them do art just opened that door for me to like start even drawing or pick up a pencil. Like look at they had these pencils, like these blue pencils that are like for artists, and you have like 2H and FB, like the dark, you have the shades of the pencils. Yeah. So just picking that up, I was like, oh, what's this? And I would start drawing myself, and then I would just like look at artists that my brother was looking at, like Chuck Close, for example, and then I would just like try to make a replica of that, like one of my favorite pieces he did, and I was just try to redraw it, try to imitate it, and I'm like, okay. So that's what kind of made me kind of like different from like just seeing just basketball and like this and that. And then from there, doing art, you know, I would do the same thing in school. Like there would be like school art projects, and then I would just always win the competition. Like I would draw something like freaking like a Van Gogh or something like that. Like
something was Picasso.
Yeah, and then from there I picked up skateboarding. Yeah. So then skateboarding just really just took me all the way to like away from skateboarding, because even going to high school playing ball, I would like literally skip basketball practice to skate, and then I would just like cut school to skate. But that's about it. Yeah.
Word, like you was one of the first people I've ever seen like in the hood in Gun Hill skateboarding, and I was like, oh shit,
skating through the project.
Skating through the project.
That's a fact. Word. That's a big fact. Nobody was really nobody. He was the only one.
Yeah, you was.
Yeah, that's crazy thing
like
about
groundbreaking. Like that shit. We was out here shooting hoops. He was skating through like
on some Lupe Fiasco shit. Like honestly,
for real shit. Like nah, it's real talk, real shit. Everybody used to be like, why you skateboard? I remember that shit. Like it was yesterday. Like niggas be like, yo, put the skateboard down.
Like, what you
like, because you were kind of tall too.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, you know, like growing up, man, you were kind of tall, and then people were like, yo, like, why are you skateboarding? Like,
what are we doing? Niggas are stuck in a box. Right. But it's not their fault. It's just the way it's the environment.
Perspective is crazy.
Yeah. But like, he was doing some groundbreaking, you know, something that was groundbreaking. And from that perspective, like, it was crazy. Looking back at it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's cool because even when I was skating around the area, I got to meet other people in like maybe
other places,
like Allenton, Bronx Park East. I used to skate too, and I would be like, "Oh shit, I'm not the only one." Like, at least,
That's
and then I just like kind of just became friends with them, and we had like a whole crew. Yeah, and that's how we just came close, and I had like a whole like little set, just like skating around the Bronx in general, and we just like skate Oval Park. But before, like low key, like no one really knows, but we were the first skaters in Oval Park, and we just skate these ledges, and that a skate park that's there now is because of us, because we would like literally wax all the ledges, and we were like the first. I was like literally there when there was no wax, bro. I was like, I waxed it. I was like the first person to wax that shit. And we skated there so much that people from downtown would come up and skate it. And then there was one time a kid from California in Oval Park, and I was like, oh, how you know about this spot? He's like, oh, I heard about it. Like, oh, that's crazy how
that's
we just
before like real like Instagram
like before
days too,
Instagram,
right?
all that, like
it's crazy.
And then we just had like skaters from around everywhere skating the ledges, and then they got so crazy that the city parks people, they took the metal plates and they just stopped it, put the stoppers, so we couldn't skate on the ledges anymore. And then we just waited it out, and then we just take it out, and then they just had a skate park all of a sudden. And that's just really because of us, me, Neil, and Michael. We were the first skaters there hitting that shit. Yeah, that's just crazy how like it just like developed to that. But you know, the first skate park in the Bronx was Thrall's Neck, and then after that was Allenton one. Yeah. So Allenton was the first one in that neighborhood, and then Oval Park came next. Yeah.
Fire.
Shit's crazy though.
Groundbreaking shit.
Groundbreaking. Yeah. So public housing skate team. Mm-hmm. How did you guys and Ronald, like, I mentioned like how you were like the Sebastian Telfair of the hood, and then from there you went away to school, and what was your kind of like transformation to kind of really getting into like the person you are now, like into art and fashion? I know you were kind of helping me when I was having my brand, like modeling and stuff like that. But then from there, like you kind of developed your own path, which I think is super impressive too. Like, yeah, talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's just went down like a deep path of like finding like knowledge of self.
Yeah.
And like going down a spiritual path, like doing some meditating, things of that nature. And I just started like experiment with different things, going to museums, just studying my history, different things like that. And then I don't know, I started like just experimenting with like picking up like a camera, like VHS camera at first. That's when I started filming Vlad. You feel me?
Yeah.
When he used to skateboard through the hood, like I just randomly brought a camera. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna experiment with this. You know what I'm saying? And I just started doing a deep dive into like artists, like black artists that they don't teach us in school. You know what I'm saying? You know, we learn about the Van Goghs and Picassos, but you get more into like the David Hammonds and, you know, just go through a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? Then I started getting into like design and just Photoshop. And then I just took it to another level, really.
Fire.
Yeah, and that's really led us to public housing, you know, filming, the designing, the graphics.
Like, did y'all just like kind of meet up one day while you were shooting Vlad? You know, I remember that, like where you had like the VHS and you were doing shoots and stuff like that. Like, where did our conversation happen? Like, where you guys was just like, yo, like,
I think because I mean we already knew each other, and like I always knew Ron being like just like someone like his face, like I know him, like really something about Ron. I'd just be like, oh, I know him, like I really just know this guy.
He a good dude, right?
Yeah, it's like Ron's that dude. So I was like, all right, Ron was good. So every time I see Ron, I'm like, what up? And then it's like, oh, catch up like briefly. And then every time we would see each other, I feel like there was more to say. Yeah. And then Jason would be like, yo, y'all guys should do something, yo. Like Jason, because Jason and Ness that's my brother Jason, and then Ness, you know, live right like next to
my neighbor.
Ness so it's
a
like,
big homie. Yeah.
So them two, like, yo, they'll hang out a lot. So they'll be like, yo, you guys should do something, because they knew Ron was like on some shit. Yeah. So then they knew I was on some shit. They're like, yo, you guys should like do something. So then me and Ron just, you know, came together and we just started really talking. And then we were right there across the street in Gun Hill like station. We were just talking. We're like, yo, like, yeah, we should start a brand something. I know you skateboard. I was like, yeah, word. Like, we just gotta make a hood, gotta make it really like gritty. Ron was like, all right, bet. I got you. I was like, all right. So I didn't really think about it as much because, you know, a lot of people just talk. So it was like, all right, whatever, Ron. All right, we'll see. And then Ron came out of nowhere with this T-shirt. And I was like, oh, what the hell is this? And it just said Public Housing Skate Team. And then it had the housing logo and the City Parks logo. And I just looked at it. And I just felt like when I looked at it, I like dove in the shirt for some reason. I felt like I would just like on some like spiritual shit, like on some shit. I was just like looking at it. I was like, damn, this might be something. Like, and it's just so simple, the shirt, but the shirt said a lot. Even the way he positioned it, like the way it's designed. And I was like, oh, this is something special.
It's a staple, yo. It's a staple.
Yeah,
yeah, what was the inspiration for that, Big?
Shit, it was just like, imagine like Wu-Tang and like Rockefeller and like just imagine like those guys had like a skate team. It was like the whole narrative of like how we used to go outside, wake up in the morning, go outside and just play ball. Or just imagine the Gun Hill had like a basketball team. Right?
Yeah.
So imagine us, I'll just imagine the hood had a skate team. Like, I was like, imagine like the Project Community Center like built a skate team. How would that look? Yeah. What would that energy be like? You know what I'm saying? Would it be the same energy as like when Gun Hill basketball team, we go play ball, win the games or whatever, how be get fly after, chill, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case. So that was the whole inspiration behind it. Like what would the energy be like if the projects had a skate team? Yeah. Like from the grittiness, from the hanging out outside to the staircases, what would we wear? What would be our influences from like Wu-Tang? And also I wanted to give it like a 90s feel of like, you know, like Nas and like Mobb Deep, like guys that's from the project, and take that energy and put it into like a skate perspective. Yeah. Literally just like that.
I definitely think that and even like that original logo, with taking the NYCHA, the project logo, it's so universal because it doesn't really matter if you're from New York or not, because there's a NYCHA in like every like city pretty much, and their project logo looks a little bit different, but it's kind of like the same foundation.
Yeah.
So it's kind of dope that like you guys kind of built your foundation off like a recognizable like symbol. Like I think that's kind of fire too. So you create the shirt, Vlad's the skater. It's kind of like a match made in heaven. Like what's the next steps for you guys to now make this a business?
I mean, so now we got these shirts and like, it's like, all right, cool. What's next? So I'm like, basically, we got to film some shit. We got to film. At the time, I was experimenting with this VHS camera, like this random VHS camera I got off eBay. And I was just like,
they were cheap back then too.
Yeah, it was real cheap. I think I got it for like $25 or something, working all that. Came with tapes and everything. And then, you know what I'm saying? I was filming Vlad at the time. He would wear the shirts and I'll just film him and we just get random clips. And it wasn't just skating. It was like, remember, Vlad's a filmmaker too. Like, he didn't say it yet, but back in the day, you used to walk in his room, he would have like all these films. He probably could talk about it more, but all these films on his wall, like, like a whole collage.
Yeah, I used to go to the library.
Shit was
like,
crazy.
Every day, man. Like,
take films,
just watch. Like, I would take, well, first of all, it's kind of crazy.
Crazy you said a fucking library. Like, most people had never even been in there.
Exactly. I was like 12 years old going to Queens Library, Brooklyn Library, and the New York Public Library. Just to have 3. If I could have at least take, the maximum you could take out is 10 films. Yeah. So I would take out 10 each of the library.
Crazy.
Like, I mean, I had the time, and I was like 12. So that's the only time you could really do it. You can't really do it as much now. But I just took all them freaking films, just watch them, and I just like, just be in a room, like watch at least 3 films a day. Wow. And just max out and watch all of them. But they were really entertaining too. Yeah. I was just like, wow, and I'll learn so much from like, I mean, I could talk about a lot of films. I could talk about Russian films, like Japanese films, or French films, the French New Wave, all that stuff. I was just like diving deep. And I, to the point where when I went to school, by the time I went to school, I knew more films than the professors. Like they were just name films like, I already seen
what
this.
What school
like,
you went to again? You went to
I went to Pratt Institute.
Pratt, yeah.
It took me like, when I took a time off when I graduated from high school. I took like 2 years off, and that little break, I was shooting like music videos for like rappers in Gun Hill, like Sko.
Yeah.
So
I shot for Sko too.
I feel like everyone shot for Sko.
Shout out Sko, man.
Yeah, Sko the Criminal. He had the ill like little.
Yeah, that was his name, right? Sko, yeah.
He had a little something.
I thought you was making a joke, but now I'm thinking about it. That was his like.
He had a little fire. Like,
yeah.
Fire on clip. That shit was fire.
Yeah.
But that was cool because he was like repping Gun Hill. So I was like, let me shoot Sko real quick.
Them ninjas had me outside on Burke like 12 o'clock at night, midnight, and it was like 40 degrees out there shooting a video. Everybody like, boom, boom, boom. It was crazy.
Yeah. So I was just like shooting music videos and like shooting my little videos.
Yeah.
And then basically building my portfolio to like have a good enough portfolio to go into Pratt, because I got denied twice before I went to Pratt, and then I got accepted into the program, and then from there on I was like in the film program in Pratt Institute. But honestly, I had a interesting like experience with like being in art school, because I felt like it was weird, because I felt like I was like an outcast too, because the percentage is crazy of like there's only like 2% black kids in the school, and 90% is like, I don't know, white kids, and like the other percentage, well, 50 is like white, and the other percentage is like Asian. Yeah. And it was like a really small community of like us black and like freaking Hispanic kids and stuff. We were just like in there, like kind of like looking around, like it was weird. Like I got stopped by security guards. Like, going to Pratt, like, yo, you go here. I'm like,
you don't fit the model of like a Pratt student.
Yeah. So it was like an interesting experience, like just dealing with stuff like that. But I just kept. I don't really mind stuff like that. I don't really get hurt by words people saying stuff like that, racist stuff. I just keep my head up and just like, I'm in the school, whatever. I'm just doing my thing.
Doing your thing, right?
But yeah, I got the film program was new in Pratt. They built the new film program, and most of the head of the film program, like they treated me well. They gave me like scholarships and stuff like that.
That's fine.
But there was like some professors that there's always that professor that's just kind of hating on you.
Motherfucker.
Like this guy, what you know about this? Like, man, I know.
Can't judge a book by its cover, bro. Can't judge a book by its cover.
So I'll shoot my experimental films, and people just like it, and then there would be some professors that didn't like it. So it's cool though. I just listen to I'm all ears. So
fire.
Yeah, I went to Pratt and then graduated from there, and then that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when you look at the skate videos for the brand, basically that's why it has like that experimental feel to it. That's why it's not just like straight clips.
Yeah.
You'll see like, you know, film inspirations. Now you see where it comes from, that experimental side of it all. You can add like those film concepts. Like, what was that, like the second film we did when you was in the robe?
Oh yeah, so like,
he was walking through the
so like Doug
projects.
Like, Doug was like a reference to like Tony Hawk Underground, like is abbreviated Doug. So Tony Hawk Underground is like THUG.
Okay.
And then so I used that as the title, and then in the film, I'm just chilling with Shorty, and like someone knocks on the door. But that concept comes from a film. The Criterion Collection has like this collection called Eclipse. It's like lost and forgotten films, and this is a Japanese film called Occult Is My Passport. And it's like this guy, he's like an agent, he's like a hitman, and he's like doing all these hits, and he's trying to like really leave that scene or whatever. He's like, I'm not trying to be hitman anymore, but then they set him up to kill him, and then there's like a crazy scene. And I use the
original John Wick right there, motherfucker.
It's like a 00, like a Japanese 00 film. It's like so sick. But
I've noticed that, speaking about like the inspiration that you're drawing from like certain international films, I could see that with some of your photo shoots that you guys do for like, any of your, like, I wouldn't even call them lookbooks, but like when you guys are doing shoots like in the projects and you're the model, you kind of have like a character that you're putting, like a persona. I don't know if it's like, is there inspiration that comes behind that where you're like doing a shoot and you got like the slow motion shit going on, or you're like the skater, so is there anything like that?
I mean, I feel like when I film, like even before I even film something, I'll listen to something. Yeah. And then from listening to that, I would just turn into that character in a way. Yeah. And then I would just film that. Even through the clothes too. Like sometimes I would just express it, and then I would just film it, and then it would just come out like how I want it in my head. But like, even the film I'm working on now, there is like I'm playing myself as a storyline with that, but then I just elaborate more of like the community, and then I have like someone like, Nate is in it. Nate is having he's narrating the film, because Nate is a poet. So. Shout
out to Nate. Nate is a OG in the project.
He's our first basketball coach, right?
Yeah, Nate knows my pops. And Nate is just shout out to Nate.
He's a community leader right there.
Facts.
But yeah, he's so I just see what's going on in the neighborhood, and I'll just take bits and pieces of that, and I'll just collect it and like make it into a narrative.
Nice.
Film. And then, there's documentaries in it too, so it's like a hybrid. And then I just take those stories, and then I'll just build this character, and I'll just play it out within the film. So yeah, it's really fun doing that though. It's like, it keeps me creative and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you guys started with the shirts, and Big, like you designed that. So is that like, did you guys kind of decide on like, yo, Vlad, you'll be dealing with the skaters, Ron, you'll kind of be focusing on the designs, like where's the dynamic there? And I think we kind of got a little cut off, or not cut off, but like started talking something else. But like, what was like the first step on like you guys like really just establishing like this is gonna be like,
I think it was pretty much like free. Like we were both like just like regular.
Like personally, I don't skate, you feel me? But like the skaters would hit me up like I did. Like they would hit me up like, yo, Ron, I need a boy, I need a shirt.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they, I'm saying, it was all love. Whatever they needed, they would hit me up. You feel me? Obviously, Vlad dealt more with them. You feel me? Because that's his lane or whatever. Yeah. But whatever else I'm needed, designing, filming at times, shipping orders, emails, designing, creative directing also. Some of the video idea concepts. Photos, wherever else. Everything really. I'm all hands in. Like I'm an intern. I feel like I'm an intern and a co-founder in one. You know what I'm saying?
Because you guys kind of got your own different entities. Like Ron, you talk a little bit. I guess like you started doing art as well. Like Vlad just touched on some of the film stuff that he does like outside, but like you do some art as well. Not even some art. Like you do art as well. Like. And it's real creative, like where the inspiration comes from for the art, and talk a little bit about that.
Just like the main question, like based on my art, is like who am I? Like knowledge of self.
Yeah.
And like from a spiritual perspective, like from the mind, there's different things like that. Like what was our ancestors like spiritual practices before colonizers pulled up? Like that's deep in my work too, and just basically knowledge of self. That's what basically my work is. Just questioning myself to get more deeper into like who I am.
Yeah.
Like mentally, like get into the subconscious and like just really.
My son is deep, bro.
And
the crazy thing is like Bake not even was. Bake's pretty quiet. I mean, I don't know outside like now, but like growing up with Bake, I would have never like in a million years thought like Bake was gonna be an artist. I consider you an artist before a brand owner, like essentially because you are creating art even with the brand.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
And both you guys are artists, even though like you're creating art with just like a board that, you know, people just can't do. Like the average human couldn't fucking do a kickflip or whatever you know. I don't want to butcher any of the tricks and shit. I was fucking nice at Tony Hawk, the video game growing up. So you know, now like just fast forward, because I know you guys earlier on was doing work with like Elijah, ASAP Ills.
Yep. Shout out to all those guys.
Yeah, shout out to him and shout out to anyone else.
Yeah, facts.
And you guys just started to grow the brand. Talk to me about like, I guess some of the pros and cons of just like scaling and growing Public Housing Skate Team, because in the beginning, of course, I talked about all of the collaborations that you guys have, and I'm sure there's more on the way, but what are some of those like difficulties just like scaling and growing just the brand itself?
I think in the beginning it was just knowing how much to put out. I think because after you know, shout out to the whole ASAP mob, you feel me? After we got them somehow got them closed, and then they started rocking it, and then we started dropping stuff. It's like, all right, how much quantities do we put out? But sometimes like we'll buy a certain amount and then it would sell out. We're like, damn, we could have made more. So it's like, you know, that type of thing, how much to put out, how much not to put out. Figuring out what designs hit, designs don't hit.
Yeah, it's like a dice game. It's like rolling dice.
And a shock factor. And then also like being like having a strategy on how we're gonna get people attention still. Like that's why in the beginning we was doing all embroidery for the low, like the razor hoodies, embroidered razor hoodies, the barbed wire hoodies, like these chain pants. This is all for like, we knew we had to do something different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We knew there's so many brands out here. We was like, yo, what we gonna do? Like, what's gonna be our shock factor when people gonna be like, yo, yeah, this brand is, what's our staples? You feel me? What's gonna be our 50 Cent moment? You know what I'm saying? You know when 50 Cent came into the game, he was like going at Ja Rule, he made Wingston and all that. It's like, what's gonna be our moment? How we gonna take this shit by storm and start, you know, create havoc in this shit so people can know who we are? Yeah. So that's what the whole ideas of like the razors, the embroidered razors for the low too. We didn't even head crack. Yeah. I think we was doing it for like $80, not even 60, maybe 80 for all over embroidery garments. You know what I'm saying? So like it was for the low. Yeah. So it was just like, it was just that narrative of like, yo, what's gonna be our stamp? Like what we gonna do? Yeah. Like on some get rich die trying shit. Almost like, it was almost touching on that when I was designing, like when we was designing that shit, like standing in front of that computer, it's like, all right, we're gonna have to come in this shit like swinging, like.
And most of the designs are you get majority of that inspiration from just like the aesthetic of being in the hood, correct?
Yeah, the hood is the mood board. Yeah, our biggest influence is the guy on the corner in the early 2000s. Like that kid, who knew that the guy in the Merma who's wearing the guy on the corner wearing a Merma, big ass Merma, touching his knees, pause, and then like having a baggy jeans on, Nike boots on. It's our influence.
And it's not just y'all influence. You're seeing it now, like with like Supreme. You're seeing it with a lot of brands. Stussy. You're seeing it everywhere. Like
the
UK,
the hood run this shit.
Yeah, the hood. And that's why it's hard to say. I don't like the narrative or just like the box of like streetwear, because everything starts in the street. Like we're in New York. Like you couldn't go to like the Upper West Side to get like fashion motivation or just like get any ideas or inspiration. You have to go like to Harlem. You got to go to the Bronx. You're going to go to Soho. You're going to be in Brooklyn, Queens, wherever, but you're going to find inspiration. you know, from like streetwear, quote unquote. So I hate that like box or bubble that we put our, you know, we put this shit in. So, you know, as far as like what y'all like, have y'all ever got that fake discrimination of like, y'all motherfuckers is like too street or streetwear when it comes to like partnerships or like getting your clothes anywhere or whatever?
Sometimes, like, I feel like some collabs, people are like, oh, it's too much. Like,
yeah.
Like there's some stuff.
But the hood is our mood board.
Yeah.
Like, we look outside for inspiration. Like,
and you ain't changing that up for nobody.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
like we from the projects. You know what I'm saying?
Even the bullet hole, that was a challenge
with Puma, right?
With Puma, that was.
Oh yeah,
shout out to Puma. Shout out to Puma too, though.
Yeah, shout out. We love y'all. Rob, thank you guys.
Rob from A-Life, Chris.
Yeah, shout out to those guys.
How does like for a young kid watching this or listening to this, like besides just building up your brand, like how does a partnership, like talk about like relationship building, like how does that happen?
I mean, number one, you just gotta just keep keep a good head on your shoulders. You know, you can't go out there and just like be on some like, oh, like I'm the you just gotta be like respectful. You know, be nice to everybody. You know, you can't just be like on some
can't
like
be a dick
now,
once you start getting some clout.
Yeah, just be professional. You know, it's like be professional.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's definitely.
Don't talk too crazy. You know, just keep your head on your shoulders.
Yeah,
be respectful. Keep it clean and quick. You know, nothing crazy. Because some people just get out of hand. A lot of stuff happen in the industry, and people just get weird sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's really important to like always keep a positive mind and just always keep at and just stay true to yourself. Really, be yourself.
Yeah.
And build your foundation on your brand. Yeah. Nothing's gonna come until you build that foundation.
Yeah. And you're also representing a lot of people too. Like even having this brand, I feel like I just have a responsibility to like for like voices, like people's voices and like voices not heard. People don't really hear people's voices or stories that we tell through our clothes. Like even the gang raid deck, like those guys, most of those guys weren't even involved in like the drugs, and they were just like regular guys, and they were just in jail. So voices like that, I just feel like I represent them. So I always have that back in my head. Even like watching documentaries, like, 'cause I watch films. There's a film called Fired Up. There's a whole history to it. So I kind of keep that in mind, keep the knowledge, and just know where you come from, and just always hold that, and just keep that in your mind. Know where you come from, and just always remember that. So that's really important. I think that's it's foundation, like guys said.
Yeah, definitely build your foundation and build your brand up. Focus on your brand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you trying to bring to your clientele, whoever that may be. Yeah. And then everything else will kind of like fall in place.
Because you guys are like, and I think that's that's a good advice there, because you guys are kind of like in a niche type of audience where you're kind of targeted to like skaters and like folks that are into streetwear too, with some of that hype. But really, like the foundation is like a group of collective people that, I spoke with Club Bum Justin. Shout out to you, bro. How he was like, would feel a certain way or kind of like be put in a box where he was like didn't really want to come out like in Gun Hill with like certain things to wear, like with roses and stuff like that, because he was like, yo, I don't want to be like judged and shit like that. But I feel like that's the same thing when it came to like skaters and like you kind of coming up too. So that's dope. And I think with that, you guys are gonna last for a long time for that.
It's authentic.
Yeah, it's authentic.
Something that's
good word there.
It's too authentic to not last. It's just too real.
Yeah.
Like this shit is just really based on looking out the window.
Yeah.
There's nothing forced about it.
Yeah.
Like it's just too real. Like,
how do you guys go from you two to an office with like 10, 20 people, or what is like the goal with the brand, even though like you want to keep it small and authentic, or kind of get to a place where it's like you guys are overseeing motherfuckers now and shit like that?
Yeah, we get to that point.
Yeah.
Because it's going to inspire other kids to get to that point.
Yeah.
You could build an empire or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We business people, you know what I'm saying? I know that that whole narrative of keep it low key, keep it, that's a thing too, but like after a while that gets played out. It's like, yo, grow it.
Yeah.
It
only lasts so long.
Yeah. It's like, yo, evolve, you know what I'm saying? Like you do that for a little bit, the whole low key, you can't get my shit. And then after a while, it's like, evolve a little bit.
Yeah.
have other kids intern, other people help them out too.
Yeah.
Because they might want to, like, somebody might want to, like, when your brand get big, they might want to have a brand, so they might want to see how it's ran, so they, you can help them out.
Yeah.
And to show kids like, yo, you could build something from nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, yeah.
It's like hip hop. It's like built from limited resources. It's just like it's like make something out of nothing, and just that's what I feel like the brand is. It's just like, yeah. So
talk to me about that wow moment of when you guys actually have someone wear like a piece, bro. Because for me, when you guys post it and I'm like, yo, bro, like I see X, Y, and Z wearing this. Like, this is crazy that my bros from uptown, that I grew up with got like X, Y, and Z wearing it. Like, talk to me about that. What was the first like wow factor from whoever you guys want to pick that wore like a piece? Because you guys got plenty of people to choose from.
I mean, for me, I think when this K-pop star, I don't even know who this guy was. I just see this guy dancing and he's like in front of this huge crowd, like a million people, and I'm just like, what? He's wearing the Dice Game shirt. I was like, what the hell? I'm like, I just see pictures of it, and then he just cut the sleeves off, and I was like, how did this happen? Like,
I seen that.
I was like, this is crazy. Like, who
and
is this
K-pop
guy?
is big out there.
I mean, I was in Pratt at the time, and I had this one girl that she was my friend, and she was Asian. She's Korean. And we were chilling, we were taking photos. She's like a photographer. She's nice at taking photos and stuff. And then I was like, hey, you know who this is right here? And then she's like, yeah. She's like, what do you mean? He's like a superstar. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, oh no, he's like Justin Bieber, but like for Korean.
Wow.
I was like, what? I was like, yeah, he's wearing my shirt. And she's like, what? She just started bugging out, and I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, I don't know who this person is.
What's his name?
Oh, that's the thing. I forget his name every time, but
shout out to him. Yeah. Shout out to the gang there.
I don't know if he's BTS or something like that, but he's one of those guys. But yeah, shout out to him. I was just like, oh, this is dope because he's wearing a shirt, and and then I found the video too. So the video was even crazier, like to see him dance.
Wow.
He's like spinning and shit. If he was screaming. And the song is bad funny. I was like,
yeah,
yo, this
wild.
is crazy. I was like, this shirt literally, like Ron just like designed this real quick. And it's over there in Korea, and it's like that's
crazy.
Really,
what about you, Bate?
I think after like Ills rocking out shit a lot, I think then Rocky was dope.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the whole ASAP mob was fire. Like that whole, cause they basically was moving when it comes to the streetwear. They was just basically setting the whole wave of like streetwear at the time. Besides, like I guess Kanye was in the loop.
Yeah.
Like as far as like popular culture, I guess Kanye and the Pharrells and all that. But that whole ASAP mob, Rocky, it was just Barry, all those guys like it's like pushing the needle for fashion. I feel like at that time. So shout out to them. And then Virgil was like that was dope too.
Yeah, R&P.
And the way he was rocking it too, the helicopter.
Yeah. During a business meeting, bro. Like
who
that
was the artist
fire.
again, bro? Hey, you stand next to? I forgot. I feel bad I forgot.
Yeah.
Those images when I seen that, I was like, yo, this is dope.
And he reposted it too. Like he posted it.
Yeah, it was dope. It was just
I think we posted it, and then we were like, yo, nice shirt. And then he just like followed us after that.
Fire. That is so fire, bro.
Yeah. It would have been cool to work with him too. I thought it would have been like a really interesting.
That would have been a crazy
experience.
Dynamic, especially if he would have just got y'all out there. Because I felt like he would do that with like a lot of like young artists. He would like kind of get them out.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, Tom Penny go to Louis Vuitton. That's dope. A bunch of skaters, and that's just like a lot of love for the skate community in general.
Yeah. Also, like Venus, she's a DJ. She was rocking our stuff a lot.
I know who that is.
Yeah.
I know who that is. My girl might watch this.
Yeah. She was wearing our stuff a lot. So shout out to her too.
Nice.
And then
then the actor, what's the guy's name?
What's the actor name?
Chad. This guy is
the guy from freaking G.I. Joe and shit, right?
Yeah. Chad Tatum.
I think that's his name. Yeah.
But yeah, he's cool, man.
I know I'm missing a couple more people, but shout out to all of them, man.
Yeah, shout out to all of them. So when it comes to drops, after like you guys are getting like these high profile influencers and everyone else, like, has it just been crazy each drop just since a lot of those people are wearing everything?
In the beginning, yeah, for sure. It was like for sure, like the helicopter graphic that was going pretty well. Like we would drop in, it would sell out.
Yeah,
and like sometimes we just have it run, and it would like help us a lot for the brand. It would help make us more clothes and stuff like that. Well, I think more like recently it's been more challenging because all the algorithms and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like certain drops, it goes over people's heads or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I think it's been going pretty good. So people just like, they see it, and if you see it, you see it. You know, some people just like, sometimes you drop something and people are like, oh damn, I missed it. Like sometimes not everyone sees it. So I just think like the algorithm and all that stuff is like kind of like weird. And then we try other platforms too, like TikTok. We just started a new TikTok. We don't touch too much base on that one, but you know, we also have a YouTube account. But yeah, that's like the platforms we like mostly stay in. But I think the main one is probably the Instagram. But like, you know, hopefully it's like more, you know, helpful like tips and like ways we could like expand the brand through like these platforms. But other than that, yeah, so main ones we use for now.
Yeah. Shout out to Jay-Z too. He's rocking the Pumas.
Oh yeah.
Rocking our sneakers at the Lakers game. That was kind of dope from the standpoint of like, it was a few times I'd be at my laptop designing and I got his album on.
Yeah.
Like listening to his music, so that's like a whole.
That was
like,
surreal too.
That
bro.
was like surreal. Like listen to some music while you're designing, and all of a sudden, a few years later, they actually rocking one of your items.
Shout out to Hov. He's the GOAT, man. That's one of my favorite. That's my favorite artist ever.
That was kind of crazy. Like you could wear anything, you know, and you just. You know what I'm saying? Just let the stars align, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's no gatekeepers with this. And I look at fashion now, like indie music, like people that are just like, yo, you can create your own album, put it out there. You don't have to go to a record label. And same thing with fashion now. It's like you don't have to go to like a big retailer to sell and be successful. Man. So I think that's kind of fire too, that like you guys are just like Vlad, like how you talked about just like the algorithm and just marketing and stuff like that. You're gonna have your challenges. And I think any brand owner, whether you're in fashion or just any business where you're trying to do marketing, it takes time, and fucking all of these social media platforms, like you have to pay to play pretty much. Exactly, yeah. So you got to have a big budget for a lot of this. But I don't think that's slowing you guys down, because I think the best thing is that like you guys have a community, and then also you guys aren't relying like on a certain artist to like push your brand. Like it's not like all hype. Like you guys have had hype. Now you guys are just still like building. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like you guys are just still building off of like your core foundation.
Facts.
Our following. Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
And then, and that's about it. That's the only challenges. On the side note, it's kind of funny. Only thing I probably dislike is when we like in talks of doing a collab with people, and they like kind of flake on, not flake on it, but it's like, it's weird. It's almost like they have you like on standby.
Yeah.
Like bigger brands, they want to collab, but it's like, they be like, yo, let's do it now. But then they like hold you off. It's like an artist signing to a record label when they put you on like on a shelf per se. Like, yo, just wait, and then you have to just leak the shit.
They want you to get hot. Like you already hot, but like they want you to get hotter. Like so the collab will.
So so that's basically exactly what it is. So it's like they wait for you. They put the word out to you, reach out, but then they gonna wait for you to get even more hotter. So before you get
blow up,
I mean, I don't like to use this word per se, humble per se, but before we blow up too much, you can't touch us. They try to be like, yo, let's get back to that. And it's like, I feel that energy. Like
it's too late now. Like yesterday's price ain't today's price. You feel me?
Type shit. So it's like, that's another thing. It's like, I guess it is what it is. But
do you have brands that come to you guys on some real metric-y shit? Like, yo, what's your numbers looking like as far as just like sales, or just like how many impressions and shit. Like
I think mostly the brands that approach us, they would just be like, oh, you guys are dope. Like we really like you guys. We want to make something. Like let's do something. Let's make something happen. You guys can do whatever I want. And we just be like, all right, word. And we just tell them ideas. But that's another thing too that's really important. You always have to have an NDA and all that stuff. Like that's important to like keep your ideas to yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can't give out too many ideas because a lot of these brands don't have that much ideas and they just look out to get it. And there's a lot of
set up a meeting and then setting files back and forth, and then it's like, we good, but now like they already seen shit.
It had to be a few times where like some brands wanted to collab with us, but then we're like, and we talking designs and stuff, and they be like, oh no, we're not gonna go forward with it. And then we got to be like, yo, on some real shit, don't touch our designs though. Like, don't get slick. Like, this our shit. Like we bring this to the table, not y'all. So that's because you don't per se want to collab. Doesn't mean you could touch the design that we did. Then we have to tell them like, yo, y'all could pay us on the side. If y'all want to collab but still use the designs, like y'all gotta pay us a consulting fee. Like, don't.
Has any of these brands done that, or have you seen anyone try to actually take your design? Or
we
influence a lot of brands out here. Regular shit. So a lot. That's why we talking about it. So
sometimes we like post something and then someone else will do it. And we just be like, oh damn.
We in talks with.
It's a copycat. It's a copycat league. They say like,
but it's streetwear.
It's streetwear.
It's the Wild Wild West.
It's the fashion.
Yeah. So that's gonna come.
There's no original ideas. Even
it's
when
not
it comes
under
to
the sun
art,
per
right?
se. You know what I'm saying? So. It's not, definitely that. That's another thing.
I just feel like who does it, I think you gotta do it right, you know. Like some people just like use the concept, but they're not using it right, you know. Like even with the bullet holes, like we were supposed to put bullet holes at the Pumas, and then we had a whole like meeting and stuff like that. We finally had it in the works, and then I think Vans dropped a Supreme sneaker with bullet holes, but they didn't do it right because you just put it out, and then there's shootings going around. They didn't have like the backstory. So if we did it, we would show like how we see it every day. You know what I'm saying? Like this is something that we see, and it makes sense with us. It's like and now we just have like the inside the shoe, stop the gun violence, stuff like that. So you have to put like a backstory, so sensitive topics like that.
I love these. I think that these definitely are like a very clean silhouette. I would have loved if you guys got freaky on them shits.
The bullet holes is ill because you could put the shoelaces through the bullet holes, so it was like you could even tighten it more. So it was supposed to be crazy.
It was gonna be crazy with the bullet holes.
I didn't know that.
It would have been like interesting to see.
You'd be like, I didn't know that. I just thought they was just embroidered bullet holes that'll be on there, but that's fine.
It was gonna like incorporate like the bullet holes, like have the gun bottle material inside the bullet holes to have it like it was like the splattered glass effect around the holes. So it was gonna be like a whole narrative, but due to the timing, we just had to like go to the minimalism approach, which is fine also. But it was gonna be way more like hitting. Feel me, bro?
Yo, bro, I feel like you guys got like you guys will be able to tell your kids, Ronald, your kids, future kids, like, bro, you guys had a fucking collab with Puma. Like that is just crazy. It's so crazy. And then I showed my daughter because she loves the soundtrack for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or whatever, the one that just came out. And she loves the ending song with ASAP Rocky for, like Into the Credits and shit. And I was like, yo, this is like, I showed her who he looks like because she didn't know. I was like, oh, he dates Rihanna, Riri. She was like, I don't know who Rihanna is. I was like, you know who Rihanna is. She's like, showed her a picture. She's like, I seen her. And I showed her ASAP Rocky. She's like, this how you look? And I was like, yo, he's wearing my friend's jeans. But she don't understand. But like, yo, 30 years from now, like she'll be like, yo, like my dad interviewed this super like celebrity who's like a big influencer. Like it's crazy. So I feel like you guys are accomplishing a lot,
dad
bro.
Narrative, like
you guys are accomplishing a lot, bro.
Well,
what's next for the brand? Like where are you guys trying to take it? You don't have to give any spoilers if you don't want, but like, what's next for the brand? Where do you guys see you guys are trending up? Like, what's next?
Right now, Halloween's coming up, and actually right after this interview, I have to interview this artist, and one of my favorite horror films is Candyman, and it takes place in Cabrini Green. the backstory of like Candyman. He's like this mythical entity, and he's like, if you say his name like 5 times in the mirror, he will appear and kill
scary
you.
Ass
so it's a really scary guy. And the director, he was really inspired from the original story, the real true story that stems this story. He found an article in the Chicago Reader, and this article was basically talking about this woman that was murdered in her apartment. But before she was murdered, she was talking about like there's someone in her walls, and there's someone that's coming through the bathroom mirror. So no one believed that she was crazy, but then she was found murdered, and she was actually telling the truth. So in front of the cover of the Chicago Reader, this artist named Thomas, I forget his last name, but Thomas, he drew basically the cover for the Chicago Reader. And it's like a sick ass like drawing of like a mirror, and it's like you see a hand opening it. And it's a creepy photo, and there's like blood on the sink. And I was like, whoa, this story is crazy. And it says murder in the projects. I'm like, oh, this is thick. Like I got to do something with this. So I did my research, and I didn't want to use it, without like, I don't know if this guy's alive. This is from it's 87. So it's like, I'm like, damn, this guy's still alive. So I looked up, and I found his website. I emailed him, and lo and behold, this guy emailed me back, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, hey, we have a brand, this and that. We usually collab with artists. I gave him an example of like the artist Boogie Photographer. Shout out to Boogie Photographer. He let us use one of his photos for Valentine's Day.
Thanks.
And, I was like, yo, we did a collab with this artist before. You're an artist too. We would love to like use his image. And I gave him some backstory about us, and he was like down. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, you need a scan or something? Let me know.
Wow.
And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And then I just he gave me the scan, and then I just want to put like do a little Zoom meeting interview, and just like have him like give him a background story of like who he is and like the drawing he did. And we're just gonna put it on a hoodie, just see how it goes, whatever. Like, yeah. And we just split. Usually when we do collabs, you like split it 50-50. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen now. I think for Halloween, that's gonna be like our new drop. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna draw. Maybe for the back of the shirt, I might draw like Candyman myself. I'll do an original drawing.
That'll be fire.
And then just to go along with the whole like narrative.
That'll be fire. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to
have the
sneak
projects with the honey, like the beehive kind of thing. And it kind of come off like Killer Bees, Wu-Tang kind of in a way too. Yeah. So it's like that whole like energy is crazy. Like just a beehive. Like,
fire.
Yeah.
Big, what about you? Any thoughts or what's happening? What's going on?
No.
Because as the designer, even I want to go back to you after this, Vlad. But like for public housing, like what's next? Because I do want to ask you about like the skate team in general too.
Yeah. Let's keep the show going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just take it to another level. Just keep designing really for the brand. Just staying persistent.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing. Just keeping the show going.
Yeah.
Dropping his new video too.
Keep it going. You know what I'm saying?
Dropping with Thrasher as well.
I think a lot of people give up on their goals sometimes. Yeah. Or give up, abort the mission.
Yeah.
It's like, for us, it's like staying the course. You know what I'm saying? And also, we had this brand, since like 2017? 17? Yeah. 2017. Mm-hmm. So I don't want nobody thinking it's like whoever's watching this for inspiration. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you, this wasn't overnight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like we're in 2023 now, so we're talking 2017, 2016. So it wasn't it wasn't no overnight thing per se. And we're still growing. We still have a lot of way to go per se. So yeah.
Would you ever, because a lot of brands, Rude, Off-White, Heron Preston, a few other brands, but like, would you guys ever want to be backed by like a fashion house? Like, or if somebody came to you and said, or an investor came to you and said, yeah, I'll give you X amount of dollars for a percentage of the company for you guys to like grow. Would you, one, take it, or two, would you guys rather just continue to do what you guys do and build it for the long haul on scaling and growing?
I mean, I guess it depends what brand, like, but
and the money, right? You feel me? You got we businessmen. We from, you know where we from.
We're not gonna turn down shit.
Money,
you
talking dollars.
If it doesn't make you blush, and I don't know.
It gotta make sense though. You feel me? Like, it gotta make sense. We don't need no handouts. You feel me? If anything, we could do it from the ground up, like we've been doing. So, but if somebody come and correct, like,
Ron like literally sold his Selena shirt to even start.
Yeah. Oh, shit, that's a fun fact.
Wait, you had a Celine shirt?
Yeah, I had a vintage. I used to collect vintage hip hop shirts and t-shirts back in the, early on and whatever. So I had this vintage Selena shirt, and I sold it. I really liked the shirt too, so I sold it. I sold it to the first batch of public housing shirts. You feel me?
Word.
So it was a vintage shirt. I think somebody ended up buying it for 500, 600, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think I sold that one, or it might have been two. That one and another one at the time. Yeah, I'm not fully remembering, but I definitely sold 2 vintage shirts for
wow.
the fun, the whole concept. Get some bread, some G money, so I could
fire.
So we could get this shit going, get some shirts, get some samples
made.
made.
Selling packs. No,
nah.
You had to get the quick sale.
That's bad funny. Yeah, 'cause I was like, yo, we gotta get this shit going.
Yeah.
So
dope. And glad with your team, your skate team. As far as just I know you're the main skater.
Mm-hmm.
Any plans on just growing that skate team? Is it hard to get fucking skaters too?
I mean, now it's a little more challenging. The skate industry in general is everyone's taking a piece from it, and it's I feel like it's on and off and during the times, but right now it's it's a good time, and I guess people are saying too it's a bad time for skating. I mean, skateboarding's in the Olympics now, so a lot of people getting paid.
Oh wow,
well.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just happened for the Japan Olympics, and it was interesting because it was canceled because of COVID, and they had to do it in 2021, I think. But yeah, they have the USA team. You have.
Did we win shit? Did we win the medal?
No, Japan took it.
Word.
Yeah.
But we didn't come in silver or
yeah,
bronze?
yeah, for sure. I think yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I think Nija, he's probably all those competitive skaters and stuff like that.
Fire.
But yeah, I think Yuto, shout out to him, but he got first place. He won the gold medal, which is cool. I think it's cool to have skateboarding highlighted, but I feel like even when I was watching it was kind of weird because they didn't really give the backstory to skateboarding because it's a new say sport in the world. So it's I wish they gave a more narration to it. It was mostly highlighting certain skaters, and people don't really know a lot about skating.
No, not at all.
So it would have been nice to have a little storyline. I feel like they should put more work, but it's okay. If you really want to know, you can just do your research.
But the research.
But yeah, managing skaters in general is a challenge. Because first they're your homies. So it's first you gotta be friends and shit like that. You just oh, you skate good, that's cool. Sometimes you don't even have to skate that. You don't have to be that crazy nice. You could be really basic. And just have a good energy and positive vibe. I feel like the skaters we had in the beginning, it was like that. And then some communication fell off, and then it just didn't work out as much, And now the skaters we have now is a skater I grew up since I first started skating. He's from McKinley Projects. Mm-hmm. He's from the South Bronx, and I grew up skating with him. So he's basically the only skater I've been skating with since I first started that crew before skateboarding even got popular.
Yeah,
because I've been skating for 20 years now. So it's I've been skating for a while. And it's it changed a lot, a lot of skaters, skate for certain things now, and it's just it's kind of weird. So you don't know who you really tampering with. So it was just cool, if you do that, do you do? But just I do my stuff, and I just try to
you
let
find
people,
more skaters trying to skate for a bag than actually skate for the love.
Yeah. But that's I feel like skateboarders should get paid now too. A lot of skateboarders. Are getting used, and they're not even getting paid for stuff, and that's whack too, because they're using the image of skateboarding, and a lot of skaters are just being just thrown away, and just let me use it for this, and that's it. But I feel like skateboarders should be credited more. We do put our life and our body on the line. We do crazy shit. I do stuff that's crazy too, but I just. For me, it's regular.
That jumping train track shit bugged out, B.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I
filmed
first
that a couple times, that shit bugged out.
That was crazy.
When I was jumping the train tracks,
bugged out. Man. I got nothing to do with that. No insurance policy, none of that.
It's crazy how it started though. Like it's a whole journey to that story. But
it was on Fordham too, right?
Yeah, Fordham Road. That was an idea I had like before I even started like the brand in general. Like when I first started skating, I used to think of crazy shit like, oh, what's gonna push skateboarding next? Like, I mean, my ultimate goal, to be honest, is to skate on the moon. I think space skating is probably the next step.
Elon Musk.
What up? That would be dope to have just skate in the moon, just like that experience in general. Building a skate park on the moon would be crazy. That's my main goal, like right now. But like as far as that, I'm here on Earth, so I try to do crazy shit. So
why are you on Earth?
I was 16. And, I was thinking like, damn, it would be dope to like fucking just ollie the train tracks.
Wait, you were 16 when you did that?
Yeah, I started at first 16. Like I thought of it first when I was like maybe 12. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah, that'd be crazy. And then when I was like getting older, I was like, all right, I think I'm ready to even jump over and try it. So, I seen one time, a long time ago, I seen this guy jump across East 180th. He was just walking, he just skipped it. And I think from that moment,
skipped it.
Yeah, he did. I was like, oh yeah, I think I can't do this. And he did like the 2-step. He just went, he did a light and he came back too. And I was like, oh, and I was like really like little when I seen that. I was like, that was kind of crazy. And I think that moment was like, oh, okay.
I believe you. It was in the Bronx.
I think I could do it. Yeah, it was on East 180th. So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And then I'm skateboarder, so
Bronx
I was like,
circus.
Yeah, word. Bronx Zoo. So I'm like there looking at that, and then I'm like, damn, it'll be dope. I gotta find a spot that's give me enough room to run, and then just approach it in general. So then I found Fordham, and then at this time I was trying it. And then a skater from Japan, he jumped over it. He jumped on 145th. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, damn, he did an ollie. So when a skater like usually does a trick, like you got to do something different. Like, so it's like, damn, he ollied it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to switch ollie it. So I was like, I'm going to approach it with my left. It's like way scarier, like going with your opposite leg, because it's like riding with your left hand, like if you're right-handed. Yeah. So I was like, yo, I'm going to do this shit with my left leg. So I was like, I'm going to just ollie over this. So I was like trying it. Like first with like before I even started talking with Ron, I was like trying it with some homies I knew at the time. Shout out to Nick. He took the first photo in the train tracks. So I'm jumping with him, and then fucking 20 cops came like out of nowhere. Like one of my homies was smoking a cigarette on the tracks. I don't know why, but he was out of it. He was like filming. And then one of the construction workers was like, yo, what you guys doing here? And he like pressed the button, and like literally like 5 minutes later, I'm not even joking, like 5 minutes later, like 20 cops came. They were like, yo, what you guys doing here? I was like, oh shit, like, yo, chill, we're just skating. He's like, who's the daredevil? I'm like, yo, it's me, man, it's me. Like, it's cool. Like, and I felt like the reason why we got away with it is because my friend was white. he was from NYU and shit. He was like really like, yo man, like you can't touch me. He was like, well, you don't know my dad, like something like that. So he was like really talking to them, and then they were like, oh okay, all right, whatever. Like you guys are just a bunch of kids. Like get the fuck out of here. Like, and I was like, all right, cool, man. Thanks. And then he's like, never come back. And obviously, I came back. So it's like, and then I started. It's like a whole journey, man. Going there, you gotta know what time you gotta go. You gotta know what train's gonna come. You gotta know what time the sweeper is gonna sweep. You gotta know.
But you made that bitch happen.
You gotta know what K2 Ag is gonna be there that night. Like, there's all kinds of shit that I've seen there. But that's the whole journey itself. But that's gonna be the first trick coming out for my new film for public housing. But yeah, it's in the works still. But yeah, I'm doing. You know what's crazy though? That's not even the craziest trick in the video.
Oh, word?
Yeah, that's not even the craziest one. That's not even my last trick. That's not the main.
When is this dropping out?
I mean, whenever I'm finished with this last trick, which is just like nuts, man. It's like it's way harder than the train tracks.
What's the craziest injury you ever got from?
I think.
Because I've seen some crazy shit, like when they used to have that show on MTV.
Oh yeah, Scarred.
It was cringing, bro. I was like, yo,
show.
What the fuck are you guys doing
some
to yourselves?
You gotta really, I feel like the main thing in skateboarding is you gotta prepare. Like preparation is everything. Yeah. So you gotta prepare yourself like mentally, because all it is like mostly mental. Once you have the mentality to like have the confidence to even approach it, then you can start like, just physically doing it. But you got to picture in your head over and over again. You got to just picture that shit, dream it, like be in a dream. Yeah, I literally had the dream of me landing it before I even landed it. And it was the same exact dream. And I caught it it was crazy because I had a dream of it, right? And then I was like, damn, I kept going. I'll go there every fucking day, bro. Like 2 years straight. Like if some days I'll go, nothing will happen. Or some days the filmer wouldn't be there. Or like some day the photographer wouldn't be there. But I'll go there every day. And it's like a whole crazy journey. It's like crazy dedication.
That's crazy.
So it's like I'm there.
Actually, it's not crazy, but it's dope though. Like it took you 2 years to see it happen.
Yeah. Well, then the footage got erased. That's a whole nother story.
Oh, okay.
Then the footage got erased and I had to do it again. So I had to do it again and again. So it's like, and then I didn't like the second time I landed. So I was like, damn, I want to land perfect. Because the first time I did it was like classic. So I had to do it again. So it's like that's a whole nother story right there. So, but yeah, it's just, once you do it and like, you know, you could do it, it's like, you got it. So it's like, all right, what's the next shit? So it's like, you got to keep doing
fire.
You got to keep pushing skating and your skills to the next level. So it's fun challenging myself. So it's like, that's all it is, skateboarding is, you know, you just got to keep pushing it or like, you know, or you could just be chill, you know, keep it simple. You can do that too. But personally, I like doing that, you know.
Yeah, you could be cool with it too.
Yeah, facts. I mean, like other skaters done crazy shit too, like Danny Way jumping over a wall, China and shit like that. It's like, and he had a fucking fucked up foot too when he did it, which is nuts. Like he literally I think he sprained it or almost broke his ankle. And then the next day he had to jump over again. So he wrapped his foot and then he jumped over the wall, China. I think he smokes a little bit of weed too. But yeah, that was about it.
Damn.
Yeah, but yeah, you said what's next?
What's next?
I guess the film.
Yeah,
and
I guess you guys got a bunch of film. Just keep putting a bunch of shit out, right?
Yeah. Oh, and also I'm gonna drop a sneaker too. By the way.
Oh, word?
I'm gonna start a new brand
outside of public housing.
Yeah, it's like under public housing, but it's like it's like a skate shoe, and it's called Gully. And it's like it's basically a graffiti sneaker. Mm-hmm. So it's like all like wild style, bubble letters, and it spells out Gully, and it also pays homage to like legendary graffiti artists, you know, Arsenal art in general. So it's like all like 3-dimensional wild style
that too, Ron?
Nah, that's the old fly right there.
This is all on your
Yeah. This is like his like
crazy.
Creative project, and he wants to like do it on the public housing. So it's like,
I mean, it goes well.
Go for it. I'm here for the ride.
How's the silhouette looking? Is it gonna be kind of like them DC?
Oh yeah. So the silhouette, a lot of inspiration comes from like the you know, just the fat tongue, the skate shoes, like these, like globes, or like, you know, the old school ones. Like the really puffy ones.
And those are back in style too, like the dad shoes.
And I always like those sneakers too, because you can skate in them and you won't get as hurt. A lot of skate shoes now, they're like really thin and like slim, and I just roll my ankle too easily. So they have like that silhouette, that fat tongue, wide tongue and stuff like that. And then you have like the graffiti engraved in the side, so it comes out and you see like the letters coming out.
You got like, samples already?
Right now I'm working on a sample being made. It's really expensive. Like it's crazy because being 3D printed and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just working on that now.
Souls,
I had to get 3D. I had to 3D model it, and that was a whole nother like freaking
size
journey
11,
with that,
bro. If you get extra,
size 11. I bet.
Nah, fucking
sure. No, I got you.
That's fire, bro. Yeah. I think the sneaker game has been a little dead. So it's cool to kind of, you know, see that. It's so crazy that we're able now to, you know, cut out. I don't even think there was a middleman, but before it was just like when it came to like fashion, it was like screen printing, like that. That's like what was everyone's first experience with like, I'm starting a brand. And to now, like fast forward from 2017 till now, like you guys are doing 3D printing for the jeans. You guys are doing embroidery. Shit, making your own sneakers, and it's just like that's crazy. Like, to think about that shit. So that's fire.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, fellas, for pulling up, man.
For sure, man.
Episode.
It's a fact.
Facts. And y'all want to share like your own handles or anything like that? Where anybody can find you guys besides Public Housing Skate Team on Instagram?
Yeah, I think YouTube videos should be coming out with new films. So we have a YouTube channel, Public Housing Skate Team. Just like straight up Public Housing Skate Team. And then we have the other handle, Gully Shoes. It's a skate shoes. Gully, that's a new handle that we're working on now. So there's a new skate shoe coming out. It's coming soon.
Thank you guys for joining, man. Subscribe, like. Thank you, Big. Thank you, Vlad, for pulling up. First episode. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys are inspired. these two gents right here is taking their brand to the next level, man. And yeah, shout out to you guys. Much love. Peace,
man. Thank you,
fellas. My guys. Thank you.